Hey everyone! Today, in this build video, we have the, I guess, much anticipated guide for the Trojan Sky Shards Battlemage that I've been using in all of my Elite playthrough videos and in all my upcoming Ultimate playthrough videos. Now, I want to note one thing before I actually go into this build, is all of the stuff I've done in Ultimate has been in build 29 with this character. So there isn't going to be Star Pact. The build is going to function exactly the same, though, just without Star Pact. And in this build video, I am going to go over kind of what I was doing in build 29 and some of the things I was doing skill-wise before I had, before build 30 came out. So it's going to be a little story-timey, and I'm probably going to ramble on a little more than usual, but yeah, I just want to make sure I cover everything from the start of Elite to here. And this is basically his finished Ultimate, and like we're end of Ultimate with this guy. And maybe I'll finish Ultimate tonight with him and see what happens. But anyways, we're just gonna jump in and talk about the skills. So our main like bomb of damage is Trojan Sky Shards, and we want Trojan Sky Shards at 16 of 16. In build 29, I had this at 12 of 12, but I needed those 12 points to max out the Arcanist side. So we dropped it down to 1 of 12. And really, I'm fine with that trade-off because Frozen Core is really about that freeze for 2 seconds, more than the bonus damage it provides. And Star Pact actually provides more percent cold damage and percent lightning damage than Frozen Core and Shattered Star together could provide for Trojan Sky Shards, in addition to providing it beyond Trojan Sky Shards. In a perfect world, I would have Frozen Core and or Shattered Star both built up high in order to make Trojan Sky Shards an insane threat, but we're obviously not doing that with this character exactly. And I will note they did put a Trojan Sky Shards specific set in the game. That's legendary level, and I want to see what it does, because it might mean I make this character less warrior mage and more magey, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what that looks like. But for now, Trojan Sky Shard is maxed out, and Frozen Core and Shattered Star are both 1-point wonders. The other important ability we need maxed out is Star Pact, which is one of the new exclusive skills for the Arcanist, and I almost flipped my lid when I saw this, because it's just awesome. When you have it on, you just get like the flat frostburn damage is added onto all of our melee swings. The percent cold and lightning and frostburn and electrocute are all added on when we proc those damages, which is constantly because we're a cold damage build with lightning worked in there. The physical damage converted to cold damage works great with cadence, which I'll get into when we get into either cadence or the gear we have equipped. And the other big thing is 10% cooldown reduction, which is going to get pumped up a little bit because of our skill. Our plus to skills from our gear, and that means Trojan Sky Shards gets faster, which is really awesome. So also in the Arcanist tree we have Myvan Sphere at 7, because we want to get it to that 12-ish or so point. So yeah, I think it goes up to maybe 10. So like 10 to 12 is the window I shoot for in Myvan Sphere protection. Even after it was nerfed, it's still a really great ability, and a really core part of defense for pretty much anyone using the Arcanist. And we took 1 point in conversion. Iskander's Elemental Exchange we have completely maxed out. The flat elemental damage is great to have, as is the physical damage converted to elemental damage. And the regen and energy leech is kind of a little lost on us, but it's, you know, not bad to have. I did used to have Overload maxed out, but again, I needed the points to get down to Star Pact and max it out. And I mean, it's a tiny trade-off, and this will also get buffed up by plus to all skills. Elemental damage gets ticked in with 1 point. Alexa's Flash Freeze and Absolute Zero, again, are going to be just like, I say again because I just recorded the Albrecht's 8th Array build video, are going to be 1-point wonders. And then Kalidor's Tempest actually is going to be a, I guess, 3-point wonder in this case, because this is going to be great for knocking down knockdownable heroes. Having both freezes is awesome. Having some stuns is good, but I don't know if I have any stuns, actually. I don't think I have stuns, never mind. But having knockdowns worked in there is also awesome because there are normal enemies you can knock down, but there are also heroes you can knock down. So heroes you can normally not crowd control, you can crowd control with Calidor's Tempest. Excuse me. Arcane Will and Nullification again. And I say again also because like all my Arcanist videos pretty much use Arcane Will and Nullification as 1-point wonders. This is going to trigger a lot, and in triggering a lot, it's like we just get a nice damage boost out of it. I don't care about the regen for this character. And Nullification's a workhorse at one point. It's great for just taking out all sorts of bad crap that enemies put on themselves to make them difficult for you to deal with. And finally, Inner Focus is, of course, maxed out because it's Inner Focus, and that's what you do with Inner Focus. It's one of the main reasons to come to Arcanist, aside from, like, Myvan Sphere, for its passives it provides. I'm not using Mental Alacrity at all, because it's not necessary for this character. Fabric of Reality might be worth a 1 point in the future, like, maybe 1 point, because a tiny bit of Aether damage would actually help our abilities out. Obviously, Albrecht's Aether Ray is lost on us. Devastation, maybe 1 point. But I don't have space for it on my bar, really, so even though the new Devastation is really awesome, not using it at all. So, on the soldier side of things, a lot of, like, rejiggering had to go through here to get it to where it is now. My main attack used to be Baronath's Fury from the Shard of Baronath component, but when I hit 85, I realized I had a ton of extra points left, oddly enough. So I initially took those points and put them into Blade Arc, because Blade Arc maxed out with Laceration maxed out. Yeah, we're a cold damage spec, really, but like the big sword swing, like Legend of Zelda sword swing your character did, just hit everything around you, and it was awesome at the time to actually be able to just spread these huge swipes of damage while dropping the Sky Shards and having like Calidor's Tempest hit all around you. So it's like you were almost like just a sphere of death on the battlefield with Blade Arc with Laceration. Ultimately, though, that proved secondary to Cadence. And Cadence, with 1 point in fighting form to give it that nice little AoE, is great for our main attack, because Discord got changed to what it should be. Every time Cadence procs, 50% physical damage converted to elemental damage. I would assume that's just Cadence's physical damage that adds on, but for us, like, half of Cadence's damage getting turned to elemental damage means we only need a little bit more conversion to get Cadence into Cold and Lightning, so that when Cadence pops, not only is it going to deal a lot of weapon damage for us, it's going to deal a lot more elemental damage with the way it works. So, huge on doing Cadence with this chord for this build. And because also they put the attack speed bonus back on the squad tactics where it really should be, instead of that movement speed bonus, and because Cadence uses our basic attack animation, which got a little sped up, we're attacking really fast with this. Faster than we were with Blade Arc. So, the main attack now is Cadence instead of Baronath's Fury. That's my little story time thing I said I was going to do. So, 5 points on Warcry. I wish I could keep it at 12, but I really do need those 5. I really did need the points taken out of it to run Decorated Soldier here, because I needed that the elemental damage, and I wanted, not needed, the extra physical percent damage. Well, no, actually, it's not. I needed it for the elemental resistances. The physical damage on here is not going to be applied to us because we're using a cold weapon. No, actually, I don't think this physical damage suits conversion at all. So never mind. I just needed that for the elemental resistances. Field Command and Squad Tactics are both capped out. They're just way too good as a buff this deep into soldier. I mean, it's like offensive ability and defensive ability and percent armor, and then like just a ton of damage from squad tactics. 1 point on veterancy, mostly because I have pants that give another +2 to it, but reducing the physique requirement was actually required to get the pants on. Though I don't think it's necessary anymore. I just have the 1 point thrown in there to take advantage of the plus to it. And then, like inner focus, military conditioning is an obvious cap out. So, let's throw our gear on. Can't put the pants on yet. Okay. So, with our... Oh, and we'll buff up too. This character has all of the buffs. Just a ridiculous amount of them. So our cadence is not bad at all. I mean, granted, it's not like the 12,000 DPS you could see with cadence, but I mean, we do all right, especially considering we're dropping the Trojan Sky Shards at the same time. So we can look at our skills real quick. Trojans is up to 21, 16 on Star Pact, 20 on Iskander's Elemental Exchange, 16 on Inner Focus. Oh, we hit 12-12 with Myvan Sphere. Everything else got, +2, basically. +1 on Warcry, +2 on Veterancy is all we get on the soldier side of things. So let's look at our gear real quick. Our weapon is a Shard of Astrakarn, and I need to go grab my other one, actually, I think, because I forgot to put augments on these two things because I recently redid their components. So, Shard of Astrakarn is our main weapon you want for anything Trojan Sky Shards. That's going to be very castery. Even though we're a warrior mage, yeah, I totally think this is your best cold go-to weapon if you're using Trojan Sky Shards. It's a really good weapon in and of itself, and Chilling Presence is a really, really great ability, especially because you can attach devotion abilities to it, especially Blizzard, because it does crit, which means you get just free blizzards all the time out of this. I wish I could say that about Dairy Queen more often. Our non-set gear, well, let's just say I'm using the 5-piece Iskandra set, and I'm wondering if this or the Markovian set would be better. Depends on what you can get out of your conversion on that physical damage you'd get from the set. But the Iskandra's set, the Iskandra's Unity set, is made for warrior mages. That's what this character is. That's why we're using it. Part of me kind of wants to fit together, just like kludge together gear from all over the place, because I really like the way, I think it's called like the Frost Dread Cuirass? It's not vestments. Anyway, there's like Frost Dread armor. It's probably the best looking armor in my opinion in the game, and it has a great toggle passive you can do. But of course that involved breaking the set apart, which I'd actually want to maybe put a different set together or something else together if I got that chest piece. However, Iskandra set, I'm not complaining about having it and using it. The big things here are like the 3-set bonus for that physical resistance and pierce resistance, and then the 5-set bonuses are really, really nice, as is the ability it provides, and I'll point out how that ability works when we actually go in the field. Our pants are empowered leg plates of valor, all around good defensive pants. Iskandra's text, Iskandra's shoulders. The Ice Scorn talons are just really nice cold gloves. And I'd consider going with something a little more tanky here, but because these are more for like a spellbreaker, but they're just nice for cold, so they're nice for us. And like my Aether Ray Arcanist, we have the Golemborn Greaves because they're just a really great pair of defensive boots, and I haven't really gotten any other boots. Iskandra's helmet has Iskandra's Unity, the ability, which is a great little toggle ability, and it's what gives us a whole lot of elemental resistances and Aether Res and all damage. Now, Iskandra's Focusing Prism has this Iskandra's Prism ability, and this is another source for us to get physical damage converted to elemental damage, and it will basically, you'll see it trigger when you walk up and melee attack enemies. So it's kind of an ability that it might happen off of Trojan Sky Shards. I'd have to actually look at that. But when you hit enemies, you get the little buff for it. And if you look, it's a 3-second duration for the buff that has no cooldown. So you're basically, like, sort of, as you fight, you keep this elemental damage buff just banging on as you go. Our accessories continue with a empowered Starfire, just like a normal Starfire, but better. The Life Giver Signet keeps us alive, because we got some nice, defense and attack stuff mixed together there. Really, really great vitality resistance on it, and that life steal is really awesome to have as well. Empowered Combat Medic's Mark is, I think, the go-to, even though we, like, Maynard's Will and Mogdragon's Pack are not part of this character at all. The bleed resistance for it is really great to have, because bleed resistance for me personally is hard to get. At least I find it hard to get. And its field medicine ability is just great. Unfortunately, I don't have a good belt for this guy, so Death's Wasteguard of Supremacy is what we've got to keep for now. And then he has Aegis as his relic, and Aegis, I was using it before just for its defensive ability it gives you, and the ability was like, oh, on block you do this thing. Well, now it's changed to on attack you do this thing. You don't need a shield for Aegis anymore. Perfect and awesome. There's another relic I was considering, because they changed it to attack instead of block. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't Citadel, but it was something else. I'd have to actually look at it. So, this guy's devotion initially started with going through Tsunami. But Tsunami is good, but they changed the way Elemental Storm works so that it reduces the target's elemental resistances, and that's why I switched that to my main attack instead of using Tsunami. So this guy's devotion tree is mostly about his defenses. I did go up to grab Blizzard, obviously, because Blizzard is like a really easy to get cold ability, and we can attach it to Chilling Presence, so it'll just proc for free when we're running around and just in melee range. But yeah, aside from those two abilities, he doesn't have any other abilities from Devotion. It's all about the passive stats for him. So Sailor's Guide and the Eel are mostly to get Ematok unlocked, but also to have Solemn Watcher unlocked. Solemn Watcher is just a really nice set of defensive abilities, and like my Aether Arcanist, we do 3 points in ULO because these are great resistance adds, resistance gets. And I believe I did the same thing where I unlock Law through Oaklane's Lantern. So we would probably start here and then respec the Crossroads points after we pick up the Spider and the Hawk. And then I completed Oaklane's Lantern. And that unlocks Law, which I grab up the Crane and then Torgo. And that actually would be how we get over to Ulo as well. If I had more points, I would maybe go for Tip the Scales, because that's actually a really nice tree, but I don't know where I could... Well, the ability's defensive, so you could probably just put it anywhere. But yeah, I just don't have the points for it, because I want to keep my defenses up through also the Empty Throne, which we actually need to unlock. Because we do the whole put a point in Crossroads, respec it after we get the tier 1, I think this would be, ability. So yeah, we want these 3 resistances are really great to grab up. And that also unlocks the Robari Crown, so we can get Elemental Storm. And then I threw 3 points in the Autumn Boar because of the Pierce resistance. I don't know if I need it on this guy, actually. And the Percent Physique, which I do actually want more than, I think, either the... Yeah, it's like I just want the physique this provides, just so he has more health and defense. But yeah, I might... No, I'll keep Autumn Boar. So that covers his attributes. His attributes are 2, 1, 1. So I do a 2 to 1 to 1 ratio on physique, cunning, spirit. Because we need all three, in all honesty. We need physique to survive, cunning for the ability to hit things, and spirit so we get a lot of magic damage on our Trozan Sky Shards. And we're a warrior mage, so doing 2 to 1 to 1 is actually not a bad option. And I believe that will cover everything for this character's gearing and skills and devotion. So we're gonna find something to fight in the field after I do a quick little adjustment. So before going in the field, I had to record this little extra bit to point out my components and augments. On the weapon, we're going with a cold stone for all of the cold damage it provides and their cold aura, obviously, and because we have physical damage converted to cold damage, which is important for converting more of cadence over. I'm also using Creed's Cunning, I think it's called, as my augment on both my weapon and my offhand. Now my offhand, I am using Hellsbane ammo for its lightning aura. I could probably see using a Blessed Steel, since it would provide about the same benefit as its passive benefit, and Sacred Strike is really good for reducing enemy resistances. I just don't have like space to get my finger to where I need it to go to activate it a lot. So I'd rather have a passive in that case. I know it's a weird excuse to use this instead. But I mean, having another aura is like, we just get flat and percent damage out of it, and we're converting to lightning damage, which is just, it works for us because we're cold lightning, even though we are very, very, very cold oriented. So ballistic plating on the chest piece for that percent projectile avoidance. The defensive ability and armor is a nice addition, but yeah, really, really like that avoidance. Ancient armor plate, pretty standard for the pants. Physique armor, percent armor. Silk swatch for the pierce and bleed resistances on the shoulders. Spellwoven threads. Percent offensive ability is the main thing to go for here. We're not using cast speed at all. The spirit's tiny, and I don't actually know what else I could use here. Maybe a what do you call them? Unholy Inscription might work here, but Spellwoven Threads, percent offensive ability, it's worth it. Mark of Mogdragon on the boots, standard loadout for boots, I think. And Attuned Lodestone on our metal. Percent all damage and crit damage and lightning damage are all great for us. A little bit of lightning retaliation is actually not bad for us because we're going to be in melee. And its static charge ability is also not a bad ability to have proc. The belt has Anti-Venom Salve for the poison resistance. The helmet has Anti-Venom Salve for the poison resistance. We have an Arcane Lens for the flat and percent elemental and spirit, percent spirit that provides. I was using a Dread Skull for a while because of the speed, but I think Arcane Lens is probably a little better damage-wise. And then Mark of Illusions and Mark of Illusions. The augments on these three are all from the Rowari, from the Rovers. And that tiny percent chance to freeze for 2 seconds is a surprising amount of freeze for 2 seconds. In addition to the freeze that this provides, and the freeze from this and this. And, you know, we're just freezing like crazy. So that'll cover the components and augments. And now we're really going to go into the field. Well, I have to secure the inner necropolis waypoint. So we're just going to do that. So technically this guy's damage is a little lower than it should be because he did a quest for an Estera that lowered the damn reputation with Black Legion, So he's actually he actually can't get his augments I want him to use, which are the elemental damage offensive ability ones from there. So yeah, we're a little tiny bit under damaged, but I think we'll be fine. So, in one of these groups, I'm hoping to take about 50% damage here. So, we're going to actually let it kind of happen. So, right now, and we can run away to show this off, we have a secondary energy shield on. It's kind of hard to see because it looks a little bit like Myvan's Sphere of Protection in that it's a sphere around you. So, every time we drop below 50% health, we'll actually get this crazy 50% damage absorption shield like we have now. And it's like, yeah, it makes the character intensely hard to see, but it's 50, like we're nothing but like frames. We're down to like watching a, oh, I know why we're not killing easily. This guy's calling up his Fury soldiers. What the heck? Oh, Aether Blaze. I was like, oh no, I'm taking crap tons of damage from Ethereals. Is it Locksmear around me? No, it's just Aether Blaze. So, yeah, Aether Blaze have the damn... Aether Blaze might have had on the stupid-ass Mirror of Arachtes these guys like to put on themselves. So yeah, we took down a fairly big group of enemies there, and we got hurt a little bit, but it's fine. We're an ultimate, and we're a battle mage, so like getting hurt is, you know, it's part of what just happens with us. And when we drop below 70%, obviously Arcane will proc. And at 50%, we will obviously get our shield from the Iskander's Unity set. So these tornadoes are not that... Like, I obviously don't have that ability leveled up, but I kind of wish the tornadoes were a little stronger than they were. I mean, maybe I'll feel different after I actually do get them leveled up a bit. Yep, so that's where Horus is. I mean, also the tornadoes aren't really there for their damage. They're there to be like an elemental resistance reduction, so I can kill things faster by hitting it, or by killing things faster with my Sky Shards. So in the actual Ultimate playthrough videos, You're probably going to see me start really rough, where I'm just learning how to use the Iskander set. Because there is a bit of a learning curve in getting its ability to work right, oddly enough, because it's something based on you taking damage, and you generally don't want to take damage, but at the same time with this, it's like, oh, dropping below 50% health is actually kind of a benefit to survivability. It's very weird. It's like I heard a thing. No, 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 no. Ah, damn it. I actually was trying to get the Doomsayer before he decided to Doomsay. Doomsayers aren't even, like, the worst Chthonics for this guy to deal with. Void Callers, totally. Yeah, now, because everything he does, like my Aether Ray guy, is also on cooldown, is, like, having the cooldown reduction from Star Pact is really awesome. In addition to the cooldown that, like, his caster offhand and his... I think both his helmet and amulet actually have it. We should look at that real quick. So his cooldown reduction is like 41%, which is pretty huge because it's on his helmet, his amulet, his offhand, and he has an ability that gives him some. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of a lot of cooldown reduction. That's like Trojan Sky Shards is almost one... It's like a second and a half-ish. A little under that. Or a little over that, I should say. Yeah, so in case anyone is wondering, and I know I've gotten this question, the blizzards that are proccing are all off of Chilling Presence. And then he can keep Elemental Storm going with Cadence. He's not like the ultimate let's rain everything down from on high character. It's pretty close though, because he's not using Devastation. It's like the one rain down from on high ability that he has access to, but he's just not using. So hope for some hero fights here. Oh, poop. I didn't want these guys. I was kind of hoping for, like, rare versions of these things, not the bloodletter jerks that I hate, kind of. Ooh. Dang it. It's like I ran away just a little bit to get, like, not near Chthonian bloodletters, and it's like, of course I aggro an entire mob over here. Okay, we got one dead. Not exactly my favorite enemy to fight. Close up or far away. It's always seemed to deal a lot of damage. Yeah, I was also thinking these guys would show up. The Vanguard. Ah, god damn it. Now I'm just angry that we have more... Oh, I'm dead. One of them is frozen, and we got the damn bloodletters. But I'm gonna do this. Okay, we're back up here. Not looking forward to it. It's just we got like, we got a terrible, terrible pull on these things. Mostly it's bloodletter plus frozen guy. Not that he can freeze me, but because he's just gonna take forever to actually hurt. Yeah, we got that nonsense to deal with. Harbingers are the name. I think that these are supposed to be called. I, for whatever reason, get hooked on Chthonian bloodletter. And we have, boy oh boy, did we ever pull like a crackerjack bunch of jerks. It's like I pulled one ethereal troll earlier on, which means all the ethereals in the area have to run after me now. Now I have to run around like a coward, too. One's down. Just grab my body so it's not there for me to click on anymore. Okay, two's down. Now we just have a frozen guy who's got a crap ton of cold resist we gotta take out. He's not weak. Sounds like I'm taking chaos damage in there somewhere. But it's just cold. I don't know how much more protection a shield would provide in this case, in all honesty. And obviously he can't be frozen. Can't be frozen, can't be knocked down. So, like, the two crowd control tactics I have can't be used against these guys. Yeah, he does have a chaos damage thing. Well, he's dead now. Now we can talk to Ulgrim. And then the next quest... Oh, we got revered back with Black Legion. Next quest would be, we gotta go break all the little red wagons of the occult, or the Chthonian cult. So, yeah, that's the Battlemage as he exists now in Ultimate in Build 30. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and you could put up with me dying once. And I'll see you guys next time.